everyone, Miss GoElectric here. There are many different reasons why people might want an e-bike. If you're looking for one that is robust, that can do anything a scooter can do, and go anywhere a bicycle can go, then an eMoped style bike might be for you. I've reviewed many e-bikes in this category, and I know that Super 73 is a leader in this space, but spoiler alert, I have never felt as cool riding on an e-bike as I have on this one. This here is the Ride1Up Revv1 FS. First, I'm going to run down the specifications, and then we're going to explore the strengths and weaknesses of this bike.
The Ride1Up Revv1 ships as a Class 2 e-bike, which means you have access to both pedal assist modes and a twist throttle, with the ability to reach a top speed of 20 miles per hour. Pedal assist settings are customizable, so riders can decide how aggressive or relaxed they'd like the motor to be when helping out. Riders may contact Ride1Up for instructions to unlock to Class 3. If riders sign a waiver, they can learn how to unlock off-road mode, which raises the top speed over 30 miles per hour. The Revv1 comes in two frame styles, the FS, aka full suspension, which is what I have here, and an HT, or hardtail version. Aside from suspension and frame geometry, each frame is optioned with different features and specifications. The Revv1 FS has a 750 watt Bafang rear hub motor, which can output up to 95 Newton meters of torque. The battery operates at 52 volts using Samsung cells with 20 amp hour capacity, which is equivalent to 1040 watt hours, just over 1 kilowatt hour. This battery is removable and can be charged on or off the bike. A 4 amp charger is included, and riders can expect a full charge between 3 to 6 hours. Ride1Up also says this combination can deliver a range between 30 to 60 miles, depending on the rider weight, terrain, incline, and level of assist. Both aluminum frame styles can accommodate riders between 5'2" and 6'4". The FS version of the Revv1 weighs 93 pounds and has a maximum payload capacity of 350 pounds. This FS comes in 3 color choices. This bike is also IP65 rated for water resistance. These are hydraulic brakes with 4 pistons and 203mm rotors. The FS gets a hydraulic front fork with 120mm of travel. The rear suspension on the FS is a mountain bike grade DNM AOY 38RC air shock. The FS also gets CST Scout eMoped all-surface tires, which are 20 inch in diameter and 4 inches wide, and have black butyl tubes to prevent flats. The 120 Lux integrated moto-style headlight with high beam and low beams, tail light, and aluminum fenders are standard on the FS. It also comes with turn signals and an electric horn. The HT version does not come with turn signals, ships with a smaller 15 amp hour battery, and a lighter duty 3 amp charger. The hardtail has lower grade tires, 20mm less suspension travel, is 10 pounds lighter, and costs about $500 less. Ride1Up offers a 1-year warranty period and has a modest network of service locations across the US.
Well, those are some monster specifications, and I'm excited to get it out on the trail. But before I do that, I just wanted to point out that I have one optional accessory on this bike, and that is the storage cage here. I paid extra for that, and I also paid extra for some of the additional accessories like the rear rack, pegs, and the passenger kit, but they're all on back order, so it seems like they have a hard time keeping those kinds of things in stock. But it's time to get this out on the trail. Let's go. All right, I am starting off this ride in no assist. This is a heavy bike. So if you run out of battery, I highly do not recommend that because this is gonna be a pain to pedal. And I can already feel it in my legs. You probably don't wanna get yourself in this situation. Hopefully this is a big enough battery. Let's move into the pedal assist modes. Whoop, a big jump of power immediately once that motor was engaged. To be fair, I'm not gonna go through every single one of these different pedal assist modes and tell you guys how they're different, because ultimately what I think people are gonna do with this bike is ride it like a moped. I mean, heck, even in this first pedal assist mode, I can get up to speed. I'm at about 17 miles per hour. No gear shifting in this. It's just doing a really good job of giving me that power. Now the cadence sensor is kind of jumpy, and that's pretty common across the Ride1Up bikes that have the cadence sensor. But again, I think that's totally fine for this bike because this is more of like an electric moped than a bike. And that's what I kind of like about this, is it looks very much like a little cafe cruiser motorcycle, but you still have the ability to pedal it if you do want to get a little bit of exercise, or if you just want to pedal because you're on a trail that is meant for bikes. And I wanted to test this out of the box first with how the power felt without unlocking it. I think most people will probably contact Ride1Up and get those instructions to be able to unlock it to the higher speeds and more power. But just keep that in mind, as right now I'm just riding, and you can tell because it says Class 3 right here in the top left of the display. Speaking of the display, I think this is a great layout. It is plenty bright enough. I like the information that's displayed. I can see the power that's getting pushed to it. And I think it's doing everything that I would want it to do as far as the information goes. Since you are probably going to use this as a commuter bike where you can take it on the street, it has a really loud horn. I love that about this bike, and it also has turn signals, so that's a big deal if you're riding amongst traffic. You also have high beams, so I think as far as the equipment, it's appropriate for this style of bike, and the turn signals look great. All right, let's move up into the different pedal assist modes. I'm gonna actually just go bump it up to the 5th mode. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's a lot of power. I got a lot of ghost pedaling, but you guys, look at this. I can hit 28 easily. And it feels so stable. These tires are nice and wide. That tread is just so smooth too. It's gliding over all this terrain. And I know this is not like a super aggressive trail or anything, but there are some bumps, especially when I ride in the middle here on this grass. This is probably like one of the most comfortable bikes as far as the suspension feel goes, because it has the rear suspension, it has a front fork that's got a lot of travel, but it's smoothing everything out so nicely. Like, I am not feeling anything in the saddle, in the seat part. The seat is very, very comfortable, and clearly the performance is there. I'm really impressed with the build quality so far. I'm liking this. Okay, once I get past this stop sign, I'm gonna do a throttle test just to see how it is off the line. And if I was to guess, it's gonna be pretty performant just based on that experience there. Okay, so it's half twist throttle on my right. Feels very much like a moped. So typically on e-bikes, I like to see a thumb throttle, but in this case, no. This fits the whole look of this bike and feel of this bike of being like an electric moped. So let's give it a go and see how this throttle performs. Yep, that's quick, nice off the line. But as you can see, I cap out at 20 miles per hour on the throttle in this mode. I mean, this is one of the best looking moped style e-bikes that I've seen as well. So to me, this feels like the total package. Right now, I'm not getting a lot of rattling, but producer Tim actually put some tape in between these latches here on this bin because it was making a lot of noise. Let's see how these brakes perform, because these hydraulic brakes are gonna need to be, holy smokes, yes, that is wonderful. And this feels very confidence inspiring as far as that stopping power based on how my riding position is and the performance of those hydraulic brakes. Man. And also, Ride1Up sells solar panels so that you can charge this bike just off the sun, which I think is so cool. This performance is outrageous. This is probably my favorite electric moped style e-bike that I have reviewed. It just feels so good to ride, so good as far as performance goes, very comfortable. I can't stress that enough because a lot of times these e-mopeds are not comfortable for me since I'm such a tall rider. This one really is. The pedals on this bike also have a rubberized material on it. They've been really keeping my feet in place, which is super important, especially if you're going those high speeds on a moped style bike like this. So just those little details I think are a really nice touch. All right, we're gonna head back and I'm gonna share my final thoughts on the Ride1Up Revv1. What is not to love about this bike? It's my job to find the opportunities for improvement, so let's get into those. First off, I would like to see this battery be UL certified. It is over a kilowatt hour, it is huge, which brings me to my next point is I'd like to see a USB port on that battery so that when I take it off the bike, I can use that power for other devices and charge up. And I would also like to see a USB port on the computer here so I can charge my phone while I'm riding. The build quality of this bike is awesome, but there is one exception. I just want to preface this with, I'm about 140 pounds, so I'm not that heavy. And I only have about 22 miles on the odometer here, but look at what the seat is doing. The material is like bubbling off. Another thing is that this optional cargo cage accessory here is made of metal, and it is metal on metal here, so while you're riding there's a lot of rattling. I had to put tape there to prevent that, but I wish that that was more thought out in the design. Speaking of accessories, they have a lot to choose from, but they are always sold out, which I guess is a good problem for them, but I really wish I could just get my accessories. The last opportunity for improvement I'd like to see has to do with local service. Ride1Up doesn't have a big service network, but I want the confidence to know that I'd be able to fix my bike and have it repaired locally if need be. On to the positives. Besides the opportunities for improvements I just mentioned, I love everything about this bike. The aesthetic is so cool looking. It is very comfortable, not only with the front, but the rear suspension, the riding position. It is just an absolutely awesome bike. And out of all of the competitors, this would be the one that I would choose. Typically, I like to go for a torque sensor, but I really don't even care with this bike because that's how cool it is. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this review. And if you'd like to learn more about the Ride1Up Revv1, then see the link in the description below. Ride1Up might help support the Miss GoElectric channel if they find we're helping their customers find the right bike for them. Well, until next time, drive, fly, ride. Go electric.